Somehow we've come to believe that greatness is a gift, reserved for a chosen few, for prodigies, for superstars. And the rest of us can only stand by watching. You can forget that. Greatness is not some rare DNA strand. It's not some precious thing. Greatness is no more unique to us than breathing. We're all capable of it. All of us.
What up, what up? Episode 2, Mike on the mic. Thank you for tuning in on all the podcast platforms. Thank you for watching live on Facebook and listening on rtfsportsnetwork.com. It's a little chilly, rainy day today, but we got a great show set up for you. And by we, I mean me and the two Doges. This isn't Twist Sports Talk where I have my two hosts. This is Mike on the mic. So welcome. We are going to kick off the show with an interview. Jeremy Sutherland, he's the CEO and co-founder of Hybrid Nation. Let's bring him on the show. What up, Jeremy?
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man? Happy Saturday.
Yeah, man. Just another day, another dollar.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about, Hybrid Nation, how you guys got started, what, intrigued you to start, a clothing line?
For sure. Really we started, it was just a concept that came up. The short story is started at college down in Northfield. I went to Carleton College, small little liberal arts school, bunch of nerdy little liberal kids. And my sophomore year roommate at the time, he came back. He was living in Denver and came back from winter break. And he said, "Hey, man," he said, my friend called me a hybrid. And I was like, okay. And, he's half, his mom's white and his dad's black. And I was like, well, shit, I'm a hybrid too. And, my mom's half Japanese, half Norwegian. My dad's black. And so we're sitting down with, again, just like, we're sitting in a room at 4 o'clock in the morning, drinking and smoking weed with a bunch of like the nerdiest, smartest kids in the world. And this girl from Pakistan, she's looking around the room, and we got the white guy and the girl from Pakistan and, me, Kellen, all these people. And she looks around, she's like, well, this is Hybrid Nation. And we were like blown away. I don't know if it was the weed or if it was how profound it really was, but from that second, it just clicked, and we were like, okay. Next thing you knew, we made a freaking bumper sticker, and it was like Kellen's mom made us a bumper sticker that said Hybrid Nation with a bunch of different colored smiley faces on it, right? So, the whole diversity piece, and again, it's just a socially conscious streetwear brand is what it evolved into. We were all into fashion at the time. We're all into streetwear, and we had this kind of dope name, Hybrid Nation, that we wanted to stamp on some clothes. So, that was 12 years ago, sophomore year of college. And today we kind of evolved into, full-blown cut and sew streetwear brand, socially conscious streetwear brand, promoting diversity, inclusion, positivity, all that stuff that, say Nike does on one day a year when they drop their equality t-shirt, you know? So that's kind of the short story of how we kind of evolved over the last 10 years into a full-time gig.
That's what I love about the brand is it's the message behind the brand. I'm repping the hat right now. My oldest daughter, her mom is mixed black and white. So she's a hybrid too. It's dope. So I definitely promote it. We got the website there on the bottom. Definitely go in hybridnationclothing.com. Get your face masks because you can't go anywhere apparently without them with this COVID bullshit.
Crazy, right?
So where's the brand at now? You're based here out of Minnesota, but you're in LA a lot. How you pushing everything? Where are you guys at now?
So I live in LA. That was just a move for the brand, just to do some more networking. I was meeting a lot of people, and meeting people on the weekends, and the following weekend they hit me up for a event that I need to be at, and I'd be like, well, it's -30 and I'm in Minnesota right now, so I can't be there. So that started happening at more of a at scale. So I made the move out there, started to cement some of those relationships just to kind of further the brand. LA is kind of the epicenter of even from manufacturing to just trying to get the brand out there in the right hands. But Minnesota's home, man. Minnesota is where 90% of our 80% of our customer base is right now. The day ones who have been there, watch the brand evolve from a stamp on a t-shirt to, some of the most comfortable joggers and hoodies anybody's ever worn. So, you were a big part of our latest project, with the Timberwolves. So
that was dope.
that whole evolution, we just keep that kind of stuff at home, So,
and is that kind of the future then for Hybrid Nation, is trying to maybe get your stamp on some, you did the thing with the Wolves, maybe some things out in LA, kind of attach your name to some high profile stuff. I know me and your brother have been friends for years, having kind of celebrity, wearing, he doesn't do the flat bell. He does the 70-year-old man curved,
the dad hat,
fisherman's hat, but, on Top Chef and kind of that stuff, and brought your brand, elevated it to a whole new level. Is that kind of the future, Hybrid Nation?
For sure. I mean, the best way to get that, we're not a funded company, right? So we don't have $10 million to go spend $9 million of it on dressing up influencers all over the world and having them parade around in our stuff. So we're doing it grassroots route. So we're keeping it in the network for sure. I mean, unfortunately, the COVID thing took hold, and we had some pretty dope collabs with some major professional teams lined up. Some teams in LA saw, I got a couple buddies working for some teams out there. They saw what we were doing over at the Timberwolves, wanted to do some similar things. So yeah, definitely. Hopefully this snowballs into some bigger things. And, some of those projects got canceled. Some of them just got postponed. So we have some cool shit coming up very soon, but that's definitely the plan.
Dope. Well, get at Jeremy at JSouthHN on Twitter. Check them out, hybridnationclothing.com. They got a bunch of cool ass shit, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, promoting the brand. We'll talk to you here soon.
Thanks, boss. Appreciate you.
Yep. Take it easy. Jeremy Sutherland, y'all. All right. Let's get in on some Mike on the mic. We're going to get mic'd up. Yeah, we got some sports headline talkers to get at you. MJ a liar? Horace Grant says Michael Jordan lied in The Last Dance and calls him a little bitch. Grant was unhappy with the portrayal of various players and situations throughout the documentary. Horace, shut up, man. That whole show was produced by Michael Jordan. Come on, man. ESPN TB12 documentary in the mix. Nobody cares. He's still playing. God, next, Ryan Leaf. Is he off the wagon? He was arrested yesterday on domestic battery charges. The 44-year-old is one of the biggest busts in NFL history. Second overall pick, lasted just 3 years, throwing for 14 touchdowns and 36 picks with a 4-17 record. You wonder why this dude turned to drugs. Back in 2012, he spent time in jail for felony burglary and drug possession, trying to get his hands on some pills. He did turn his life around, get sober, landed a job with ESPN last year, but apparently he's sitting in jail as we speak. Speaking of people getting in trouble, Aaron Judge's girlfriend got arrested, got pulled over in Arizona on a DUI charge, and was crying and pleading with the officers because of her boyfriend. Try again, girlfriend. Whew. Immune to COVID? South Korean immunity research holds promise for the NFL. It's happening, possibly. A South Korean study featured as the lead item on NBC's Nightly News with Lester Holt tells people who have coronavirus cannot get sick from the coronavirus again. Man, I hope this is true, because then all the NFL players can just go into a little COVID bubble and get it. That way we can 100% for sure have our season. I'm not trying to miss out on that at all. The NBA to Disney? Disney World, clear frontrunner for resumed NBA games. Disney World has been an attractive place to the NBA because of its private properties and facilities. Honestly, I don't care if they play on Mars. Let's just get it going on. NFL jersey sales were released here recently. And the top 10, I believe 9 of the top 10 were all out of Florida. Tua Tagovailoa was the top 2 jersey sales, where Brady had 5, Gronk had 2, and Joe Burrow just had 1. I mean, I know Tom Brady's good. He's obviously getting a documentary here soon, but is he really good enough to have 5 of the top 10 jersey sales? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers jerseys are horrible. Nobody wants to wear that bullshit. I want to see the numbers from when Brett Favre joined the Minnesota Vikings on that purple. Now those are some lovely, lovely jerseys. Whew, now that is the end of Mic'd Up on today's episode. So every week, we're going to go over a new top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom. This week, we are going to talk about sports movies, and I'm going to break down my top 5 for you. Now, this is an interactive show. You people watching, you can tune in, try and call me out, but this is my show, and I'm right, so screw you. Here we go. We're just going to list down some sports movies. Let's start with Major League. Great baseball flick. We have another one in Dodgeball. Now, these are some of my favorites. They didn't make my top 5, but Dodgeball, Talladega Nights, those are great, funny movies, okay? Days of Thunder, Cold Trickle, Tom Cruise, one of the greatest racing shows of all time. How about The Karate Kid? How about The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg, huh? Then we got Happy Gilmore. White Men Can't Jump. That's very racist. We can. We just can't jump high. That's what it should have been called. White men can't jump very high because we're athletically, whatever. Anyway, Rudy, Rocky, Creed. Now me, I think it's because I'm just a little younger. I did watch the Rocky movies growing up, but Creed is dope. Creed 2 is tight too. Get at it. Bad News Bears. Now, a lot of these older movies aren't on there just because I didn't see them. That doesn't make it bad. What up? Next, we got another golf movie in Tin Cup. Kevin Costner. Now, this almost cracked the top 5. This is a hell of a movie. Golf, a little boring, but movies about golf tend to be pretty good. Remember the Titans. This is another one that almost cracked in. Heartfelt movie. Here we go. Green Bay Greg right here. He says it's not very accurate. He's the type of guy who likes to do some research on some of these type movies and find the falsehoods in them. I just want to be entertained, Greg. If they were to actually make a movie based on what actually happened, nobody would watch it. And that is right, Terry. Caddyshack is next on my list. Is one of the best movies of all time, but it didn't crack the top 5. We're not there yet. Let's keep rolling down the list of sports movies. We got Any Given Sunday. We have Hoosiers, Moneyball. I wonder how accurate that is, GBG. Lovin' Basketball, a good portrayal between 2 lovers who go their separate ways on the basketball court, only to be reunited later on in the film. All right. Air Bud didn't make any of my lists, but what a classic movie. And they've also spun off to Air Pups and a ton of different movies. The kiddos love all the ones with the puppies. Miracle actually aired on ESPN last night, and that is a great flick and true to the movie. He Got Game, Field of Dreams, $1 Million Baby, A League of Their Own. Now that's good. Tom Hanks in that movie is phenomenal. I wonder if he's recovered from COVID right now because he needs to get back into another sports movie. A League of Their Own is a classic joint right there. Ali. man, I loved Ali. Jamie Foxx playing a crackhead. Anytime Jamie Foxx, yeah. Longest Yard made, no, it did not. Which Longest Yard, Terry? Again, we are a live interactive show, so please comment and I will throw it up on the show. We can chat about it. We can banter. We can do whatever. It's my show, all right? Longest Yard did not make it. I did not see the old one with Burt Reynolds. I saw the new one with Nelly and Ia. He ain't making my list. The Sandlot. Man, I had to wear these. And these aren't the PF Flyers, but those are the Chucks. The Chuck Taylors. I remember watching as a kid. I'm like, those shoes don't make it look like you can run faster, jump higher, but he outran the hell out of that big-ass dog. Mighty Ducks. Now, I put the first one, the trilogy is dope. All of them were filmed here in Minnesota. Adam Banks, Edina, Minnesota. Loved the Mighty Ducks. When they're rollerblading in the second one through the Mall of America, anytime movies have, your childhood things in them, it's like, oh, I walked by that. I did that too. That always makes for a good time. And Blue Chips. Nick Nolte, Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway. There was another white guy who was a farmer. I don't think he actually played basketball, but that was a hell of a movie. So that is the rundown. Obviously, there are way more sports movies out there than the ones I listed. Yeah, Like Mike with Bow Wow. Terry's on a roll here. Like Mike also did not make the list. So let's get down to Mike on the mic. Top 5. Number 5. Now, I just want to say, before last night, I had $1 Million Baby on this. If you've not seen $1 Million Baby with Clint Eastwood and Hilary Swank, you got to check it out. That slid down to number 6 because ESPN, yes, the 4-letter network, aired Miracle last night. I got to relive it, rewatch it, and it's a great movie. I'm not necessarily a hockey guy, but you just got to love that movie. So that came in at number 5. Number 4, I just mentioned it, Blue Chips. Man, that's a hell of a movie. I got to see that a couple months ago again. If you haven't checked that one out, that is phenomenal, and that's why it's in my top 5. Number 3, He Got Game, Denzel Washington, Ray Allen, a.k.a. Jesus Shuttlesworth, a.k.a. The Phenom, a.k.a. LeBron before LeBron. They come in at number 3 at He Got Game. Number 2 is Any Given Sunday. This is so good. I think this is probably the truest portrayal of players in the NFL. There's a party scene where they're just getting lit, drinking, doing some blow, doing all this stuff. But Jamie Foxx, yeah, highly rated, number 2. And number 1 is Rudy, hands down. GBG, I know it's not true. It's not to the likes of what you would like it to be, but gosh darn it, if it's not inspirational, I don't know what is. As a young lad, when I used to play football, I used to get fired up, and I used to just throw it on. So that's my top 5. We got Rudy at 1, Any Given Sunday at 2, He Got Game at 3, Blue Chips at 4, and Miracle at 5.
I noticed that lately I've been drifting aimlessly.
All right, we're going to give you a little TV show review here. I'm going to review a show every week. Right now it's on Netflix. It's called Outer Banks. A teenager enlists his 3 best friends to hunt for a legendary treasure linked to his father's disappearance. Now, when I first saw this show, little teeny bopper, John B., who's the main character, if he isn't a heartthrob, I don't know what is. God, I think God made him in his creation. He's a good-looking lad. Let's just say that. It got a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 10 episodes. You can watch them all first season. If you like it, you got to watch now because Netflix renews based on the first month viewership. So we're going to need your help. okay? I need your help. I want to watch season 2. Now, my review of it, I'm going to give it an 8. So I'm 0.4 ahead of IMBD. I give it an 8. It takes about 3 episodes to really get going, but it's good, man. It is good. All right. It is time for a spotlight. I'm going to feature one thing every week that I want to talk about. And this week, it is the Kellogg's mashups coming out in June. They're mashing up Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Why can't I just go buy Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops and put them in a bowl together? Well, you can, but Kellogg's made it a little bit easier by putting it in a box. It saves you half the cost of a box of cereal. Now, if it were me, my favorite cereal as a kid was Fruity Pebbles. It was amazing. I love it. I'm not a big cereal guy anymore. I'd rather have a piece of pizza in the morning probably than cereal. But Frosted Flakes was good as well. Fruit Loops is good. I think that's going to be a pretty good combo. But for me, mine is going to be Fruity Pebbles and Lucky Charms. A little marshmallow, a little fruit. Let's just get fruity in the morning. Let's do it. Don't be scared to, okay? So that is my spotlight this week, ladies and gentlemen. Random fact. Now, this is how we are going to end every mic'd up, all right? Every mic on the mic. You are going to leave with a little nugget just to think about, just to ponder a little bit, okay? Now, I got a whole list of them, but I think this one's important. This one, to me, is the most important. I'm going to take a little sip of coffee here. All right, so a little random fact to end our show each and every day. The Barbie doll's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts from Willows, Wisconsin. And her birthday is March 9th, 1959. That's all the time I got for you this week, folks. Tune in next week for another episode of Mike on the Mic.
We're going to go inside, we're going to go outside, inside, and outside. We're going to get them on the run, boys. Once we get them on the run, we're going to keep them on the run. And then we're going to go. And we're not going to stop till we get across that goal line. This is a team they say is good. Well, I think we're better than them. They can't lick us. What do you say, man?